Kobe Bean Bryant will retire at the end of this season as one of the best basketball players ever. He won 5 championships, 2 gold medals, and 1 MVP. And yet, Kobe could be just as easily defined by his own downfalls: the feud with Shaq, the selfish play, locker room bullying, and the rape allegations. Kobe has always been complex, contradictory, and in need of context. That's why scouts breaking down one moment from each of Kobe's 21 calendar years in the NBA to understand which moments define Kobe's flawed but great legacy.
With the 13th pick in the 1996 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania.
1996, Lakers GM Jerry West trades Vlade Divac to the Charlotte Hornets for 17-year-old Kobe Bryant. Less than 3 weeks later, the Lakers signed Shaquille O'Neal to a 7-year contract, and LA was set to contend for a decade. 1997, Adidas releases the KB8, Kobe's first of 16 signature shoes. Kobe's been with Nike since 2003, so it's easy to forget that he originally signed with Adidas. However, Kobe was the first high schooler ever given a shoe deal, a trend that would continue later with Tracy McGrady and LeBron James.
He's the youngest starter in NBA All-Star Game history. At guard from the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant.
1998, Kobe becomes the youngest NBA All-Star starter ever, despite the fact that he didn't start for the Lakers. Since 1998, Kobe has been chosen for every All-Star game, even in 2014 when he played just 6 games.
MVP tied for the most in NBA history.
1999, the Lakers hire Phil Jackson. Kobe and Phil may have butted heads during the Shaq era when Phil urged Kobe to play complementary role to the big Aristotle. But there's no question the Zen Master played a massive part in Kobe's success. 2000, Kobe's lob to Shaq breaks Portland's back. For all the drama that came after Kobe, the alley-oop to Shaq to clinch the Western Conference Finals is a permanent example of just how great those two were. Shaq has since called the duo the best big man, little man combo in NBA history, and that's a pretty tough one to argue. 2001, LA goes 15-1 in the postseason, the best playoff win percentage of all time. The Lakers started the season slow, and Shaq criticized Kobe for taking too many shots. In the playoffs, though, LA was basically unstoppable. They swept the 3 best teams of the era, the Trailblazers, Kings, and Spurs, in consecutive series. In the finals, it took a 48-point effort from MVP Allen Iverson to win just 1 game against LA, and even that one went to overtime. 2002, Robert Horry hits the last-second 3 to beat the Kings. Trailing in the Western Conference Finals 2-1 and down by 2 points, LA needed to win Game 4 to keep their hopes of a three-peat alive. They gave the ball to Kobe, and Kobe missed. It worked out in the end, but what if it hadn't? Would the Lakers have won the series anyway? And would we blame Kobe if they had lost? 2003, Kobe is charged with sexual assault of a 19-year-old hotel employee. Kobe's criminal case was dismissed when his accuser refused to testify, but they settled out of court. 2004, the Lakers trade Shaq. Just weeks after the Lakers lost in the NBA Finals in 5 games against the Detroit Pistons, LA declined to offer Phil Jackson a contract extension and traded Shaq. Kobe, who was a free agent at the time and who feuded with Phil and Shaq the season before, signed a 7-year contract to stay with LA just 2 days after Shaq was traded. 2005, Kobe misses the playoffs for the first time while his arch-rival Spurs win their 3rd title in 7 years. One of the most important arguments in the Kobe vs. Tim Duncan for greatest player of their generation debate is about consistency. Where Kobe's team success has fluctuated, particularly over the past decade, Duncan has won at least 50 games every year, but the lockout-shortened 1998-99 season. Kobe won just 34 games in 2005 and won't win that many this year. 2006, Kobe goes for 81, 28 baskets, 7 threes, and 18 free throws. The counting numbers are impressive, but what's crazy is that the Lakers needed Kobe to score 81 that night. His teammates shot just 33% from the field, and LA trailed for most of three quarters. 2007, Kobe rejects being traded to the Pistons. Why Kobe rejected the deal is still up for debate. What matters, though, is that Kobe stayed. Not only because being a Laker is central to Kobe's persona, but also because the Lakers traded for Pau Gasol less than a year later and made 3 consecutive finals. The Pistons, on the other hand, have just 2 winning seasons since 2007. 2008, Kobe comes through in the clutch for the Redeem Team. On the world's biggest stage, Kobe scored 13 points in the fourth quarter of the gold medal game to lead Team USA to a 118-107 win over Spain. In doing so, Kobe, fresh off a trip to the finals and an MVP, cemented himself as the best player in the world. 2009, Orlando upsets Cleveland, breaking up a Kobe vs. LeBron finals. Radio shows spent hours talking about the matchup. Nike spent millions on an ad campaign about it, and while Kobe did his part eventually winning the title, LeBron is still considered the better player. Would that have been the case had Kobe beaten LeBron in the finals? 2010, Kobe wins his 5th title. It's pretty easy to see why Kobe has said this championship was his favorite, and it's not just because he beat the Celtics.
He's got one more than Shaq. So you can take that to the bank.
2011, David Stern vetoes a trade that sent CP3 to the Lakers. If the Lakers had landed Chris Paul instead of Steve Nash, who played just 65 total games for LA before retiring, could Kobe have gotten another ring? 2012, a new super team forms in LA and flails in LA. After the Lakers traded for Dwight Howard and Steve Nash, they were supposed to be the Western Conference favorites. Instead, LA fired head coach Mike Brown after just 5 games and shockingly hired Mike D'Antoni over Phil Jackson. LA was plagued by injuries, and Kobe spent his last great season dragging the Lakers to a first-round sweep. 2013, Kobe tears his Achilles but still makes his free throws. Kobe's always been a tough player. Phil Jackson called him the hardest working player he's ever met, and he's often played through injuries, even winning titles with broken fingers. But tearing his Achilles and still making both free throws in a league often criticized for flopping, well, that's pretty impressive.
96, 1 point away from matching Michael Jordan for 3rd all-time.
2014, Kobe passes Michael Jordan for 3rd most points in NBA history. Only 2 players under 6'9" are on the NBA's top 10 list of all-time scorers, Kobe and the man Kobe models his game after. 2015, Kobe breaks John Stockton's record for most consecutive seasons with one NBA franchise. If Tim Duncan doesn't retire this season, he'll tie Kobe next year. For the moment, though, Kobe is the only player to ever spend an entire 20-year career with the same franchise.
I've been in this jersey more than half my life. And finally, I just had to just accept the fact that I don't want to do this anymore.
2016, Kobe retires, clearing $25 million in cap space. You can't talk about Kobe's later years without talking about the disastrous 2-year, $48 million extension Kobe signed while recovering from his Achilles tear. As great as he's been for the franchise, that contract has been dead weight around the Lakers' neck as they've tried to lure big-name free agents to LA. The only good news about this season is that at least the Lakers should come away with a top 3 pick in this year's NBA draft. Who knows? Maybe they'll use that pick on the next Kobe Bryant.